All right, so I am back and it's starting to bubble. It's not quite rolling into a boil yet. Um, but let's see. So once I bring it to a rolling boil, that is when I'm going to add the sugar in, and the bubbles or the boil will calm back down, and then we'll bring it back up to a boil. But in the meantime, what I also did, and I'm going to have to shift my my setup. But behind me on my island, I've got a ladle, a funnel for canning, some clean jars that I just got out of the dishwasher. And I'm getting ready over here now to turn on my back burner where I have my lids. So thought I had water in them. I guess I better go put water. Again, be right back. Watch that. Don't let it burn. Oh, I said don't let it burn. Okay, so you see how it's starting to, ouch, it's kind of hot. See how it's starting to bubble and pop? And once it hits that rolling boil, then I'm going to add in the 7 cups of sugar. So if you look over behind you, you can see how far this stuff spatters. So if you don't pay attention, it does get really hot and it can burn you. So you want to be very careful about that. But anyway, so I'm going to bring it to a full rolling boil, which is a boil that doesn't stop bubbling when you stir it on high heat, stirring constantly. That's why I told you to watch it. So it's getting there. As soon as we get there, the sugar will go in. Now, I don't know. So far, I think I've been recording like 11 minutes. And other than just kind of prepping everything, getting it all here, this doesn't take any time at all. It really doesn't. And the results are wonderful. And like I said, even if it does, like you do what I do and you made a mistake one time and you make syrup, oh my gosh, on your ice cream sundaes, on your pancakes and waffles, you could probably even mix it into some adult alcoholic beverages if you were looking for some kind of a sweet drink. But anyway, there's a lot of things that you can do with your syrup if it doesn't set up. But trust me, it'll set up if you follow the directions. It's like a no fail thing. Okay, so can you see how it's starting to boil? See the steam coming? The steam coming off and it's bubbling and popping out. So at this point, I'm going to put the sugar in. Now, when I pour this sugar in, okay, that's a lot of sugar. But I got it all put in. I use a slotted spoon to stir this up because it kind of helps. See how it's got, like, I don't know if you can tell the little holes. It kind of helps distribute the sugar into the syrup or the fruit faster. But you could also use a whisk. You could use a wooden spoon, whatever you want to use. So once you have the sugar put in, you're going to bring it to a full rolling boil for exactly 1 minute. So I'm going to set my kitchen timer, get it ready to go, and then when I see that it is a full rolling boil, I'll hit start. And then we'll chat for a minute while this is bubbling. So, how many of you watch Friends? Come on now, I know you do. I know you do. Every time I make jam, I think of the episode where Monica has a plan to get over her ex-boyfriend, Tom Selleck, which you need a plan to get over him because he's good looking. Anyway, her plan was to make jam. That's how she gets over her man, is to make jam. And her friend Joey, apparently, when he was a kid, used to go to the theater with a jar of jam and a spoon. That was what his mother would send him to the theater with. You know, he was able to sneak in some jam and a spoon. Didn't have to buy popcorn or anything like that. So anyway, the whole episode is about how much Joey loves jam, and he comes over and takes a big spoonful directly out of the pot, which of course it is extremely hot, puts it back in, and then goes, guess that batch is mine. So anyway, just making some small talk. In the meantime, you know, one of the things that that I'm going to be doing more of, and of course this is not a healthy recipe because of all the sugar, but like I told you, Sure Gel actually has a low or no sugar variety of pectin, and it has different recipes in it. And I made, when I switched over to keto, see, obviously this is for my family and for gift giving. I don't eat this. When I switched over to keto, I made some sugar-free triple berry jam. And I put it in the little squat jars. Loved it. It was so good. And nobody could tell the difference. It was really good. It's just like when you go to your local grocery store, whether it's Save Mart, Vons on the West Coast, or H-E-B here in Texas, and you go down the jam aisle. I think it's like Smucker's has like a no sugar added, where it's basically just like a lot of fruit that has been mushed together. I guess used pectin to set up. Anyway, it's the same concept, and it's not necessarily more economical to make it yourself, but I like to do this, and I know exactly what's in my food when I'm cooking and baking keto. But anyway, so we're almost to the rolling boil. Let's see. Pause. Come on. Okay, here we go. It's starting. So once it starts to boil and bubble, I'm going to go ahead and start the timer and pause the camera, and then I'll come back when we're ready to transition over to ladling the hot, sticky sweet jam into our very clean, sterilized jars. So just so that you know, I'm almost ready for this. See here how the steam's coming off and they're almost starting to bubble. You don't need to boil them. They just need to be really hot, because what happens is the rubber gasket, I guess, around the lid, once it gets hot, you'll put it on the jar after you have filled it with your jam, and then it will form an airtight seal. So that is how you can preserve your jam. That's why they call them preserves, because you're preserving them. So, all right, so this is about ready for me to hit the timer. I'm going to go ahead and jump off one more time, and I will be back in just a few more minutes. See ya.